Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or indeed good evening, depending on your time zone and depending on when you are watching this. It's Wednesday, the 20th of May, 2020. We're pretty much halfway through most people's working week. The weekend is in sight. I'm James Innes, and this is my daily YouTube show, The Jobs Guru. Please do think about subscribing. These headlines speak for themselves, really. But I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The government must seize the initiative on the employment front right now and dedicate the necessary time and effort to setting up proper support for the rapidly rising ranks of the unemployed. Do I have to leave my company to get that next step on the ladder, or should they see how loyal I am? Come on, now is not the time for the UK to be taking or making a stand on the Brexit front. We kind of have other things to worry about, like tens of thousands of people dying and hundreds of thousands losing their jobs. Surely, the sensible thing to do would be to shelve this whole Brexit mess for 6 months, a year even. But this is exactly where technology has a huge role to play. Getting the right systems and applications in place is vital for maintaining appropriate communication channels and for encouraging collaboration. Platforms like Discord, Zoom, Google Meet, etc. They're ideal for bringing people together, not just professionally, but also personally. But you really do need to put some thought into it. At the James Innes Group, we use Discord for our daily scrum, as well as more lengthy meetings. But my team of digital nomads also uses that platform for much more interesting things, in fact, like our company book club and regular pub quizzes without the pub. There was one final thing on the news front that caught my eye. BBC News published an interesting tool entitled Coronavirus, How Exposed is Your Job? You just type in your job title and it tells you how exposed you might be as you return to work. I can't help but find that a little morbid, personally, but maybe it's just me. Tell her to get her hat and coat and show her that door. With so many people losing their jobs right now, she really should have upped her game during probation to make sure that she keeps this job, but clearly not. And I think that speaks volumes about her. Coronavirus or not, she has to go. Trust me, there will be plenty of other people out there who are desperate to get a job, so start the hiring process immediately and make someone's day. Get someone who deserves this job. This particular person clearly doesn't deserve the opportunity she's been given that you've given her. I don't quite know how to put this, but your current 5-page blockbuster of a CV is a disaster. Because yes, she sent me her CV too, but don't worry not, Rothen. I'm going to redo it for you and I'll email it on over. Now, I've read your CV. You have a wealth of experience and some strong qualifications, but those redundancies are clearly very bad luck, yeah. So why have you made such a feature of them in your CV? Made redundant, she's put it in bold, capitalized, underlined text, it's hardly a selling point, is it? So, today's question. Who would win in a fight between Superman and Batman? You think I'm joking? I'm not. Similar questions include, who would you rather be locked in a small room with, Darth Vader or Hannibal Lecter? I'm sorry, I have real trouble saying that one with a straight face, mainly because it's such a silly question. Hannibal Lecter, obviously. He's a far better conversationalist. However, whilst it's unlikely that your role has been made redundant through any fault of your own, the fact that this has happened at all may unfortunately be perceived in a negative fashion by a prospective employer. So the simple solution is not to make any mention of the fact on your CV. You don't need to. Including your reasons for leaving any job is unnecessary, and redundancy is definitely no exception. Now, the subject may of course come up in an interview. Yeah, that's perfectly possible. Just make it clear that it wasn't your fault. It is the position that is redundant, not the individual person. I can't make this point strongly enough. Just yesterday, who normally works on a contract basis, finished her last contract in March. It was scheduled to finish in March. And she was wondering if she should mention on her CV that since then she's been unable to find a suitable new contract. And so she's been working hard as an NHS volunteer. Well, of course, absolutely. Brilliant. Absolutely bring that into the CV. If you find yourself suddenly out of work at this difficult time, which a lot of people have, then volunteering can be a really useful option to consider. So many advantages. First and foremost, it'll demonstrate to a future recruiter or prospective employer that you have recent work experience, that you've got a strong work ethic, and evidently a desire to progress. And it makes for a stronger and much more interesting CV, of course, especially for the young, recent school, college, or university leavers, for example, in particular. But also, rather importantly, it can do wonders to boost your own self-confidence, rather than sitting around not working. And next in the interview question series, we'll be finding out what really makes you lose your rag. I do hope you'll tune in. Thank you for watching today. Keep safe and be well, my friends. Goodbye.